Okay, let's get right into it. We're going to explore the story of a band called Mundo sin Fronteras. And their sound, it's not just music. It's really the living, breathing soul of a place. Think of this as an origin myth, a kind of street-level legend that all starts with one simple but really powerful idea.
Right here. This is the guiding light for Mundo sin Fronteras. Just imagine a world with no creative borders, where all these different traditions don't fight each other. Instead, they fuse into something totally new. That idea of fusion, it's the absolute core of who they are.
So that really brings us to the big question, right? It's not about some industry formula or a slick marketing plan. For this band, their sound was literally forged into heat and the heart of East LA. It's a mythic combination of everything that was around them.
Yeah, forget about some polished, expensive studio. This all began in a garage. You can just imagine it, thick with the smell of motor oil and fresh tortillas. That setting, it shaped their whole vibe, this raw, do-it-yourself energy, where being present was way more important than being perfect.
So who are the alchemists behind this sound? Well, you've got Marisol, the soul, with a voice that's part classic bolero, part rock and roll. Then there's Diego, the conscience, a rapper's storyteller telling tales of life on the border. Luz is the heartbeat, finding cumbia rhythms on buckets and pans. Rafa, the silent anchor, laying down these deep bass lines that feel like a cruise night. And finally, Santos, the visionary DJ, literally stitching generations together on his turntables.
What they made together got a name, Barrio Soul Fusion. But listen, don't just think of it as another music genre. It's more like a political statement. By weaving all these sounds together, they were basically shouting that no single tradition owns the story of the barrio. It's a sonic world where everything and everyone belongs.
And get this, their very first performance wasn't some cool club showcase. It was a total baptism by fire at a cousin's quinceañera, because the hired band just didn't show up. They got shoved on stage, and what started out awkward turned into something magic. The family went wild, and that was all the validation they needed. Someone in the crowd that night actually gave their sound its name.
But that amazing community validation, that was just the beginning. As their sound started moving from backyard parties out onto the streets, they ran into a whole new set of challenges.
Yeah, their journey was anything but easy. They played these rogue shows under freeway overpasses that got shut down by the cops. Promoters would tell them to be less authentic, tone down the Spanish. And then, the biggest blow of all, a stolen laptop with all of their music on it. Wiped out. But every single obstacle just made them stronger.
Losing all their digital music led to this really profound realization. Their art wasn't just data on a hard drive. It literally lived inside them. They had to rebuild every single track from memory, proving that their music was this organic thing, a part of their collective soul that could never, ever be truly stolen.
So, after all that struggle, after the crucible, comes the breakthrough. And for Mundo sin Fronteras, it didn't happen in a club or on the radio, at least not at first. It happened right there on the street, in the most beautifully chaotic way you can imagine.
Their big break was completely grassroots. Just picture it. They're plugging into a generator during a lowrider cruise night on Whittier Boulevard. The crowd gets so into it, they just block all the traffic, turning the entire street into a massive dance floor. A radio DJ happens to be passing by, records the raw energy on his phone, and plays it on the air the very next day. And just like that, the whole city was listening.
Well, with that sudden fame came the ultimate test for any artist who really cares about their roots, the temptation of a major record deal and all the tough choices that come with it.
And the dilemma was crystal clear. The contract offered money, fame, a global stage, but the cost was huge. They were asked to water down their sound, sanitize their political message, and risk erasing the very identity they fought so hard to create. It was a choice between becoming a product or staying true to the barrio. So they made their choice. They turned down the deal. They proved that their music was so much more than just entertainment. They saw themselves as guardians of a community's memory, and that was something that could never be bought or sold.
And that one decision, it really solidified their whole vision. It was never just about the next gig or the next album. For them, it was always about creating a legacy, an echo that would keep ringing out long after they stopped playing.
Their whole philosophy was captured in this term from Santos, their producer, retro futuro. The idea is to treat the past not like some dusty museum piece, but as a living, breathing archive. It's something you can sample, remix, and keep alive for the next generation.
This one lyric from their final track, man, it just says it all. The band might fade, sure, the members might move on, but the sound itself becomes a myth. It becomes a community inheritance that just keeps riding by. In low riders, at backyard parties, in protest chants, it never truly goes away.
And that, right there, is the ultimate legacy of Mundo Sin Fronteras. Their story is this powerful reminder that our own histories, our own neighborhoods, they're all filled with sounds and stories. They're not stuck in the past. They're a living archive, just waiting for us to hit remix.